Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about the Vanity Fair article that was published by an individual named Andrew Quintana, and this was just published yesterday. The internet is in a frenzy over it, rightfully so, as a spoiler alert. But we're going to go through it and I'm going to insert my commentary throughout. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so I'm probably going to interrupt this article a lot as a warning. I know that can be a little obnoxious to some people, but I have a lot to say about this. I have already read it one time. I know that Adam has reacted to it. I watched a small part of his video, but I figured I should deliver my video so that my opinions are just free flowing and all of that good stuff. So I ended up pausing his video and deciding to come back to it after I'm done filming mine. But as always, I will link his reaction down below because not only does his voice matter in this, but Vanity Fair completely dragged him through the mud by allowing this publication to even see the light of day. It's awful. It's horrible. I don't like it, and I have a lot to say. So let's start from the top. The article is titled, How the Miranda Sings / Colleen Ballinger Scandal Went Off the Rails. Everything you need to know about the drama tearing YouTube apart, by Andrew Quintana. I want to talk about, number one, how it went off the rails. Don't know what that means. Has no value to me personally. I don't think that it's gone off the rails. I think that people are speaking very loudly about Colleen and all of the awful stuff that she has done, and people have a more safe place to vent their frustrations now. For the longest time on YouTube, nobody could talk about Colleen without being called names, put in danger, having their info doxed, be bullied, be harassed by all of her little fans. It was that way for a very long time, so a lot of people didn't feel safe speaking up about her. But I talked about her for a very long time, and I just, ignored most of her fans. A couple times I made reaction videos to their salty comments that they would leave me just because it was so ridiculous, the lengths that they would go to defend Colleen, her brother, her sister-in-law Jessica, anyone in the Ballinger family. Everybody was, oh, the Ballingers are so wholesome. How dare you call this out? And the difference that I have seen personally from the Seat of a Commentary channel is that in 2020, when I talked about this, it wasn't really well received. And when I'm talking about it as of the last 6 weeks, it's a completely different response that I'm receiving. And I'm hearing and I guess I'm reading a lot of comments that say, I felt this way for a really long time and I didn't really want to say anything. I didn't want to speak up. But as I've said in other videos, I hope of all the things that I hope come out of this situation, I hope that it allows people to have a little bit more of an open mindset when people are calling out toxic, gross behavior on YouTube. Even though I think that, clout chasing exists, like it's undeniable that clout chasing exists, people calling out gross behavior, influencers mistreating their fans or their subscribers, running scams, exploiting their kids, being inappropriate for their fan base based on the age, that's not chasing clout. Holding someone accountable or talking about their toxicity from their own content is not coattail riding. The last thing I want to say before we get into the actual article is that I don't appreciate the automatic discounting of what this is by labeling it drama. I remember one of my Instagram followers who also watches my YouTube videos had asked me to create a playlist because she wanted to share it with a friend or whoever she wanted to share it with. And I made that playlist. And this was really early on when everything started hitting the fan. And I labeled the playlist Beyond Drama because I feel like this is such a unique set of circumstances that hopefully we're not going to see very often. But it is anything but drama. This is literal, people that were children, like Adam. People that were children being inappropriately engaging with Colleen Ballinger, who was a full adult when it happened. It starts out by saying Colleen Ballinger has been a YouTube star for more than a decade, amassing tens of millions of followers, many of whom found her when they were teenagers or even younger. They fell hard for her potty comedy and specifically her fictional alter ego Miranda Sings, a talentless adolescent who delusionally believes she can sing despite the fact that she is always off key. The persona resonated with outcast kids who found her desperate desire for fame to be oh so accurately cringe. Such success earned Ballinger a Netflix series, sold out live shows, and most recently, rapidly intensifying controversy. But they also didn't talk about all of the inappropriate content that Miranda has made, with the suggestion that she has been sexually abused by her uncle Jim. They didn't want to mention that because that's one of the biggest issues with Miranda Sings. The disgusting nature of her content, knowing full and well that she has many young fans. Late last month, Rolling Stone published a story alleging that Ballinger had engaged in, quote, inappropriate behavior, end quote, with underage fans. The magazine verified screenshots of texts in which Ballinger asked a minor about their virginity status and their favorite sexual position. She also asked them to send pictures of their body. However inappropriate her alleged behavior was, the article clarified that no sexual crime had been committed and that no evidence in review even hinted at the possibility that Ballinger had intended to start a sexual relationship with a child. Ballinger did not respond to Rolling Stone's multiple requests for comment. So, as a reminder, just because she didn't intend to start this kind of relationship with anyone who she was engaging with doesn't necessarily, for me, take away or give her any points for being creepy but not being super creepy. Like, if you're being creepy and talking to kids, like, you're creepy. Like, that's all that it is. It's almost like they're trying to give her bonus points because she didn't intend to start a sexual relationship with a child. But we still need to talk about it, and she still needs to be held accountable, which we have seen zero accountability. To those steeped in the world of YouTube fandom, a chaotic, shape-shifting minefield where allegiances are fortified and swapped by the hour, many of these claims were not new. Ballinger had even already responded to some of them on YouTube, of course. Rolling Stone's piece was tame, legally sound, one could argue, compared to the language and rumors that had been flying around her for years. Yet, its publication preceded starker allegations against Ballinger getting similarly ushered into the mainstream press. A few days after the Rolling Stone piece went live, HuffPost published its own investigative report. Her fans say she, quote, grew them as teens. In the ensuing weeks, Ballinger would be accused of everything from performing a Beyoncé song in blackface as Miranda Sings to texting a worker's nude photo to a minor. Ballinger's legal team has denied she performed in blackface, saying she was wearing green face paint for a prior cover of a song from Wicked. I've covered the whole blackface situation. I've talked about that. But what everyone noticed, Vanity Fair, you're not very slick here. So her legal team denied the blackface situation, but they did not deny the fact that she was sharing Trisha's NSFW photos with minors that were from Trisha's paywall website. Colleen was taking those and using them as material to bully Trisha with literal children who these images were unsolicited. Nobody asked Colleen to get these. That is so weird to me. Who in their right mind would, without even it being a topic, grab these images and share them with children? Colleen Ballinger is a disturbed individual. Her Sings tour has since been canceled, her career abruptly stalled. When reached for comment, Ballinger's lawyer replied in an email that VF's inquiries were simply a regurgitation of baseless and unsubstantiated claims that other media outlets and individuals on social media have reported previously. So we're still going back to the whole claims thing. And a lot of these claims have been verified. They have been shown. The proof has been shown. The evidence has been shown. So at a certain point, you can still call it a claim, but everyone who's been keeping up with this has seen the evidence, and that's why everybody is so upset. And for Vanity Fair to discount everything and just act like it's a hate mob that has too much time on their hands and is upset with Colleen for looking left instead of looking right, I think is absolutely disgusting. These are literal adults at this time who are having to have their childhood trauma blasted on the internet and have it be an open discussion because Colleen never stopped herself. She never acted like the adult in the room and stopped herself way before it even got to this point. She was the adult. She should have made the decision. Anyone who is over the age of 18 years old, knowingly communicating with people that are under the age of 18 years old, and especially when it has to do with the things that she was talking about, disgusting. The reality of some of these claims, and in turn the broader narrative around Ballinger, remains murky. Various allegations remain unverified, left to endlessly circulate as they fall under that ever-expanding umbrella of, quote, inappropriate behavior. There is a big umbrella of inappropriate behavior, and a lot of people are responding and reacting to her old content on her own channels. And yes, a lot of it is inappropriate. In a sense, this is a familiar story for the social media age, but Ballinger's downfall is unique. She brought teens into an adult world and made it feel like it was theirs, then saw those fans turn against her. It's the product of a particular area of YouTube stardom, of a digital persona able to cultivate a feverish and savvy fandom that's been trained to reverse course and maybe seek payback with the first spilling of tea. Again, I don't appreciate or like how this is being labeled as tea or drama or people wanting to turn against Colleen, like she's just this, innocent mom who's over here making wholesome content, exploiting her children as part of her rebrand, in my opinion. And everyone's just out to get Colleen. I really, really don't like this. It makes me feel very gross, especially considering that the messages that Colleen was sharing were literal sexual content. This wasn't just a conversation between an adult and someone who was under the age of 18 and they were talking about the weather or talking about their, favorite sports team or whatever. The nature of these conversations, not only was it disgusting once, but it was a pattern with her, and she continued to go. Now it goes into the 2020 video that Adam talked about. It says here that, YouTube drama was unfolding between Ballinger and her former fan, Adam McIntyre, a then 17-year-old. Ballinger was his idol. Her merch could even be seen all over the Irish teenager's bedroom where he recorded his own videos. He was an aspiring influencer himself, making sweet, low-stakes YouTube content about his life. On June 22nd, McIntyre posted a video to his channel titled Colleen Ballinger Stop Lying. The intro to Adam really makes it seem like he was, like he's some kind of like weird stalker, where it's like, oh, Colleen was his idol and he had all of her stuff all over his bedroom. He's just this like obsessed fan. So it's like they want you to have that in your mind as you continue to read the article, as if he's just some kind of like, all he did was think about Colleen. In it, McIntyre told several seemingly unrelated stories. One recounted the time that Ballinger sent lingerie in the mail to his mother's whore. The lingerie was new and unworn, and Ballinger has since apologized for sending it. I think that the lingerie situation was actually like the epicenter of that video. If the lingerie was not mentioned, if Adam didn't share that, I don't think that Colleen would have responded. Because that was one of the biggest things that came away from Adam's first video. How creepy and bizarre and disturbed do you have to be to actually do this to a child? Uncalled for, you were in control of the situation, you chose to make a bad choice, and then you had to, eventually fess up to it, but it's only because the entire internet was after you, exactly like what was going on last month. Another was intended to debunk the rumor that he was secretly behind some anti-Miranda Sings social media accounts that Ballinger had gotten wind of. A third concerned the fallout of a tweet that Ballinger allowed McIntyre to post as Miranda Sings from the character's Twitter account that led him to never posting on her behalf again. He'd been considered her, quote, social media intern, end quote, he said, with hopes of being employed by her one day in that capacity. Ballinger says that he only had access to her account for one day, and if all went well, she planned to hire him formally. The tweet in question was seized upon as queerbaiting by Miranda's fandom. She, quote, came out as a Meghan Trainor fan, and it led to intense backlash. I've covered all of that, so I'm not going to harp on it for too long. But this surely doesn't, in my opinion, they are again making a point to not place any of the responsibility at Colleen's feet, knowing that Adam was a literal child when all of this was happening. Let's just make believe a situation real quick. Let's just say that Adam was behind an anti-Miranda account. Let's just say that he was. Why on earth is Colleen Ballinger worried about what the hell Adam McIntyre is doing? She became so enthralled and obsessed with making sure that he wasn't saying a single word about her, and he wasn't being shady or talking to anyone else about her or her content. Why not just ignore it? You, again, are the adult in this situation. You have a house, you have, a kid, a new relationship, you have a divorce that you still need to, handle. Why are you worried about what Adam McIntyre is doing? That is very, very bizarre to me. Why not, like, who cares, okay? What if he was behind an anti-Miranda account? You're really that worried about it? Who cares? And I do just want to add a little clarification. Obviously, if an anti-whoever account is just saying that they don't like you, like, okay, who cares? I do understand if an anti-account were to be saying or harassing or bullying or anything like that. I can understand that getting, especially the thing, like, I'm not here for that. But if someone's just saying they don't like you, like, that happens literally every single day. Especially when you're on YouTube, and especially if you're making weird content like Colleen was. Then came the YouTube response to McIntyre's YouTube accusation, a classic back and forth. If the names James Charles and Tati Westbrook mean anything to you, you get the idea. Ballinger, 33 at the time of her response to a teenager, posted a classic apology vlog. She revealed screenshots of Instagram messages that she had sent to McIntyre, and one that McIntyre's mother had purposefully sent to her, which seemed to be Ballinger's way of assuring viewers of, quote, what really happened. A strategy not unlike McIntyre's. That first sentence, the back and forth, I didn't see back and forth between Colleen and Adam. I saw her responding, sending her army of weenies to basically make Adam's life a living hell, and so that she could go on and be the good one. You know, oh, I'm over here being so wholesome, just making my content, and this little child who I, you know, was inappropriate with and whatever, now I'm trying to make his life a living hell. Colleen Ballinger, get a grip. She needs to, I would say she needs to pull it together, but it's way past that. During a live stream giveaway with her fans, Ballinger explained that McIntyre had asked for the article of clothing, talking about the lingerie. I'm not a monster, I'm not a groomer, blah, blah, blah. So that's still unpacking the old stuff. Let's move on. Public opinion, or at least YouTube fandom, swayed back towards Ballinger, though the pendulum would swing back and forth for years. McIntyre established a new YouTube identity as Ballinger's whistleblower, frequently posting new videos and racking up hundreds of thousands of views by commenting on the hypocrisy of her every move. I never thought or saw Adam as like an anti-Colleen channel. I see him as a commentary channel, just like a lot of the rest of us. You talk about what's happening, what you're interested in, what you came across that you disagree with, or you want to have a conversation about it. I never, not even now, I don't see him as an anti-Colleen channel. I see him as a commentary channel that sometimes he might cover more topics a little more heavily, and then other times it'll be, you know, a break in between. It depends what your audience is interested in, what you're interested in, what's going on, what do people want to talk about. To again, it's like trying to paint him as this like scorned fan who was totally obsessed with Colleen and just like can't live without having her in his life. And it's really the victim blaming in this article is appalling, and I can't believe that this article is still up. It's been up for over 24 hours, and I think that it's an absolute smear campaign against Adam. Meanwhile, Ballinger continued to work on a YouTube channel that was far from her Miranda Sings satire. Colleen Vlogs offered wholesome lifestyle content about her kids. No. If you're showing your kids on YouTube, that is not a wholesome lifestyle account. You are using your children for clicks and views. You are negatively impacting your children for when they get older. That is not wholesome. If you think that's wholesome, you need your head checked. McIntyre appeared to seize on this, accusing Ballinger's brother's family, the Ballinger family, who have a family-oriented channel, of endangering and, quote, exploiting their children online. How creepy that I feel like I can watch them grow up. It's disgusting. His critique gave way to a denunciation of family channels more broadly, and I am here for that. Y'all already know how I feel about family channels, and you know how I feel about the Ballinger family. I think that it is exploitation 101. I think that it's dangerous, and I think that it's absolutely disgusting. For years, this drama was very insular, and it probably should have stayed that way. But on June 7th, McIntyre posted an anti-Ballinger video, as he does every so often, but in the last paragraph, y'all were just saying that he traces her every move and is some kind of like obsessed person that only makes Colleen content, but now it's every so often. This one was titled My Relationship with Colleen Ballinger. He had new details, he claimed, describing staying up with her back when they were close and listening to her talk about her divorce. According to McIntyre, she embroiled him in a hateful campaign against her ex-husband. Then he came to the realization that shocked YouTube. This woman used me. This woman groomed me. The line set in motion for another stream of blowback against Ballinger, but this time the word grooming captured the attention of the mainstream press as well. No. They completely missed the point here. Everything that set off, in my opinion, most of this conversation was once Cody showed those messages between Colleen and Adam. Once the text message screenshots were in rotation and it showed Colleen actually typing out disgusting questions to Adam, who at the time was a child, that's when everything became, okay, this is real. That's where the conversation grew, and it grew very quickly. The substance of Ballinger's alleged grooming has not gone beyond what McIntyre described in his videos or what other fans alleged thereafter. It has not been interrogated by media outlets reporting on the controversy either. HuffPost published allegations of, quote, grooming, flexibly employ the term in a fashion not unlike how it's weaponized in right-wing circles against the LGBTQ plus people. The described behavior does not approach the sexual exploitation or abuse that the actual definition of grooming indicates. The perception of Ballinger as a, quote, groomer nonetheless snowballed. Ballinger eventually decided to, what else, post another video on YouTube. She took out her ukulele to awkwardly sing through her defense, implying the internet seized upon allegations that she's a groomer for entertainment. She said she wanted her fans to be her friends, admitting that desire was wrong. I'm not a groomer. I'm just a loser. We already know all about the damn ukulele song. Apology was roundly mocked, especially on YouTube, where parodies have already gotten millions of views. Soon an old video Miranda Sings performing single ladies in dark green makeup was unearthed by former fans. To find it, if you need a copy of her book with a QR code linking to it. Who said it looked like she performed in blackface. Her lawyer sent out a statement explaining the use of makeup. Headlines were changed, though corrections were not issued. I actually pinned a comment over there on my video to clarify. I don't care if it was black, green, purple, orange, or red. She knew what she was doing. McIntyre and another former fan have also alleged that Ballinger sent them new photos from a sex worker, posting unverified if troubling text messages as proof. Racially insensitive comic performances she performed as Miranda Sings, that Ballinger later apologized for, have roared back on social media. All of this is being filtered into the current YouTube content machine, wrongdoing exposed with relentless that could rival the anti-Amber Heard brigade. Please. This is not comparable to all the Amber Heard stuff. We are literally talking about a grown-ass woman who knew exactly what she was doing. She knew it was gross. She knew it was inappropriate. And she continued to nurture and build and bond with these little children. She knew the ages of her fans, and she knew that she was sending them NSFW images. She knew that she was talking about inappropriate things. She knew she was making inappropriate content. She knew that she was acting inappropriately at her live Miranda Sings shows. She did not care, because at the end of the day, these people were the ones that were going all around the internet, standing up for her, buying her merch, clicking on her videos, and coming to her stupid live shows. After Ballinger posted her ukulele video, McIntyre posted a reaction on Twitch. He was incredulous that Ballinger hadn't apologized to him in private, a reminder perhaps that their relationship had reached a turning point years earlier when he sent out a tweet briefly that got Miranda Sings canceled. Back then, a teenage McIntyre perhaps hoped for sympathy, another chance, a way back into the Ballinger fold. Let's not take a literal child's experience and try to paint them as if they are so obsessed with this YouTuber that they have put up on this fancy pedestal that the adult in the situation mistreated a child. And you're trying to say that this child wanted a second chance? A second chance at what? To be manipulated? To be sent NSFW photos of Trisha? To hear Colleen ask them about whether they're a virgin and talk about sex and all this inappropriate, gross stuff? Is that what you're saying he wanted a second chance for? Vanity Fair should be ashamed. The internet is generally too cruel for that. Its judgment's too swift. But one can look at the devolution of the Miranda Sings empire and see that the longer it drags out, the harder it is to pin down the exact truth. We've seen the truth. We've seen who Colleen Ballinger is. We have seen exactly who she is. Justifiable outrage turns to silly memes and headlines and videos. I don't see silly memes and headlines. I see a lot of people backing up people like Adam, who was literally a child and should not be blamed for things that he did when he was literally 13, 14 years old. There was an adult in this situation that could have done the right thing, and she had plenty of opportunities to do so. Stop putting the blame on Adam. If there's one thing the saga of Colleen Ballinger and her fans has taught us, it's that today's YouTube winner is tomorrow's loser. Whatever. Colleen Ballinger lost because she is creepy and weird and inappropriate and knew that she was being inappropriate and continued to act the same way with the same fans. She has been in group chats recently. When she put out that 2020 video, that was not the end of her talking to her fans. Do you think that she's actually going to drop her most loyal fans because she had to make a statement? No, she's going to expect those fans to continue to defend her, continue to believe her, and essentially run around and continue to defend her. And some of those people are also the ones that made Adam's life a living hell. This is somebody who had the courage and the strength to share their experience as a child having interactions with an adult. This whole idea of painting Colleen as if she is just somebody who's trying to rise above and take the high road, and, you know, she hasn't really done a whole lot wrong, really, really pisses me off. I just can't believe that there are people like this that exist, that would literally write this article with their whole chest and mean it. Joshua David Evans also put out a tweet to Vanity Fair expressing his upset over this article. I was really glad to see that. You guys can say what you want about Josh, but at least he is being vocal for the right people. So hopefully this video wasn't too boring or too long or too drawn out, but I was kind of like taking a step back from the Colleen stuff and just gonna kind of see what happens. But I saw this and I was so angry, and I'm gonna go and finish watching Adam's video, which I will link down below. It's just unbelievable. And I feel for Adam. I feel that his, I feel for his pain to have to be playing out so publicly, and then to have some, jackass like Andrew here at Vanity Fair write a smear campaign is literally like rubbing salt in a very open wound. And I feel for Adam. So that's how I feel about this Vanity Fair article. But for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.